Nice way to start our Shorthorn show here this morning, and a nice set of 4 Shorthorn Plus heifers young ladies brought us, and I tell you what, just a really, I think, nice set of May heifers here that got a lot of quality and are just going to get better every day of their life. I think this black heifer that starts does so pretty handily, just as far as one that just totals up everything, just as far as feminine flexibility. Still, I think adequate as far as muscle for me, but one that's just got a lot of look. I think she's stout enough. She's got enough body and very sound. Just a really nice, complete one here to win this class. Blue Roan heifer right behind her. I think the one that's just most closely like our class winner, just as far as type and design. Heifer that's very nice through her front 1/3. I think, again, adequate as far as stoutness and bone and body, and just, I think, really well built. A heifer that maybe just wasn't quite there today like our class winner. Both heifers maybe just get up in their loin just a touch, and maybe that I don't foresee it getting any worse. I think it's maybe just a little bit of getting them out here and getting them broke, but I think both heifers, just as far as type, design, just very high quality females that I think are very, very high end type of cattle. This heifer that comes in third, this one from a design standpoint, I think is really on the money. I think you just look at her, how she's designed up through her front 1/3, her neck, how her shoulder comes out of the top of her neck. And this one, you get off the side. I love her balance. I love her design. This one, I think, just needs a little more time just to kind of lay on a little more muscle, a little more stoutness, a little more flesh. But I like where she's at. I think just as far as her design and quality and soundness and structure, I think that one's got great days ahead of her. The red and white heifer that comes next, actually, those last 3 heifers, I got to talk to these young ladies. They're all 3 from Wisconsin, so I told them the Shorthorn heifer show in Wisconsin is going to be pretty tough. But this red and white heifer, just as far as bone and foot and stoutness, she probably excels the class. This one's got just as much just true stoutness and raw bone to her as any of these 4. This one just gets a little out there, just as far up through her shoulder. I'd like to change that. I'd like to lay her back at the point of her shoulder. Maybe like to tone her tail head down just a little bit, but I like her length. I like her power. I like her muscle. Very nice class here to start us off.
Within the Shorthorn show, the results from class number 1 of late spring heifer calves. In 4th place, Julia Lyons. In 3rd place, Jamie Lyons. In 2nd place, Bethany Strock. And 1st place is Carly Goetz. Your 1st and 2nds from class number 1 become your champion and reserve champion for your late spring heifer calves. In the ring at this time is class number 4, early spring heifer calves. We have the 1 entry from Piper Campbell.
plus side, Emma brought us a really nice single entry here. Emma's from Ohio. She brought a really nice young cherry red heifer here, and I like a lot of things about this female, and I think one that certainly just looks like she's going to get better every day of her life. But today I like her length, I like her design. Heifer that's got a little extra bone to her, which I don't mind, and female that's got some hip to her as well. And I think she's in a nice stage just as far as her maturity and her flesh and her muscle. And I think just a really nice single entry here that it's got a lot of quality and a lot of future. And the young lady does a nice job with her. We'll get her back out here for our champion drive in a bit.
Your results from Class 4 in the Shorthorn Plus show. In first place is Piper Campbell. Entering the ring at this time will be class number 5 of early spring heifer calves. We have one entry, Emma Arnett.
Plus side over here, another nice single entry. Emma brought us. Emma's from Ohio as well, and brought us a really nice female here. This one, just as far as foot and bone, I like this one quite a bit. A heifer that's kind of ready to go today, just as far as body and flesh and bloom. But I like that extra foot and bone and stoutness that she's got. Just I think a really square built one that's got a lot of substance to her. And she does a great job of getting this one set up and on the side right there. That one really, really is on the money just as far as doing a nice job of combining some structure, some elegance, and some stoutness all in one package. And really, really nice single entry here. We'll get her back out here compared to those other class winners in a bit. But congratulations to that young lady.
Within the Junior Shorthorn Plus show, the results from class number 5. In first place is Emma Arnett. At this time, within the Shorthorn show, we have returned our winners from class 4 and 5 to select our early spring heifer calf champion and reserve champion. Our judge for the Shorthorn Plus show is Scott Warning from Emory, South Dakota. Scott and his family run Simmental and Angus cattle in the southeast portion of South Dakota. 2023 will mark their 42nd annual sale in February. Scott is a 2006 graduate of South Dakota State University, where he was a member of the livestock judging team and the national champion meat animal evaluation team. Scott is married to his wife, Ashley, and they have 2 children, Creighton and Thatcher.
On the Shorthorn Plus side again, we're going to pick our division champion here, and 2 young ladies, both names Emma, and they're both from Ohio, and they traveled here together. So I think that's kind of cool, and they both brought us 2 really nice females, and you know, I'm one of them judges. I don't want anybody to know what I'm thinking. I want to put it all out there, and I'll tell you when it's close and tell you when it's not. And these females are quite different. But I don't think there's one that has to win. I don't think there's one that has to get reserve. I think you could use either one of them, and depending on where you put your priorities, I think Emma's red heifer there in front. I think this one a little greener today, but I think it's got a lot of future to her, perhaps more future than the black heifer behind her, just as far as how you project her out and see that one just maturing. And once she starts getting more body and flank and just massing up and fleshing up, I think that one's got some nice pieces there to go ahead and run with. The black heifer, this young lady does a great job of showing this one, and she gets everything out of her, just as far as getting this one propped up and getting the legs right and getting this one really presented to a T from the side. And we talked about this one in class. I like that extra foot and bone that she has today. I like her out of her hip and tail head heifer that's got a nice amount of rib shape for her age, and I think just a really nice one that's perhaps just a little more ready to go today. And a heifer that, again, like I said, very different in as far as type and kind between the 2, but I think 2 very high quality females. Again, I'm going to go ahead and use a young lady with the black heifer for champion, young lady with the red heifer is going to be reserved. Let's put our hands together for them. Great pair here on the Shorthorn Plus side, and I told these two exhibitors I like both of these, and I knew right when they hit the ring. I mean, they're way different. So, and I think you can go either way with them, depending on where you want to put your priorities. I think obviously there's a lot of differences in both these, but I think they're both really high quality, and I didn't want to put either one of them second. But I just can't stand out here and look at them all day either. But the red and white heifer, no doubt, this one's super stout. Just one that. I think can probably make some steers, and one that's just got a lot of bone, a lot of width, a lot of muscle. Yeah, just start studying her. She's not overly coarse in some areas, and she's maybe not as coarse up through that head and neck as you'd maybe think as far as her bone and foot and the rest of her body's designed. But that one, even though she is, maybe a little more on the steer making side perhaps, but I think that one you could probably go either way. If you want to make some females with her, you maybe breed her accordingly, and if you want to make some steers, you can go ahead and do that. But that one I think is pretty unique and really high quality and really good, and I just can't convince myself that she's not going to make a cow either. I think that one, if her genetics allow, I mean, that one, I sure hope she makes a nice cow for that young man, but she's definitely got some breeding value there. And no doubt the black heifer, if you're going to have 1,000 of them running out on the range, this is the one you want. And this one, I think, is probably a little more appropriately sized for her age, and one that I like her soundness, I like her body, I like her structure. Just kind of got into two heifers that are really different. And this one, you compare both of them, they're probably neither of them were perfect in some areas, but I think both of them are very high quality. This one I just didn't quite have them unique pieces as that red and white one, but I thought just a really high quality one that I think that one could go first any day of the week here too, depending on who you had out here. So let's put our hands together. That was a great pair of Shorthorn Plus females.
Your results from class number 8 of junior heifer calves within the Junior Shorthorn Plus show. In second place, and your junior heifer calf reserve champion is Isabel Forbes. In first place, and your champion junior heifer calf is Job Knight. Entering the ring at this time is class number 12 of winter heifer calves. We have the lone entry from Addison Campbell.
Well, nice single entry November heifer here on the Shorthorn Plus side. Young lady brought us a really nice one. Again, she had a nice one there before, and this one's the same deal. Just a great design to this heifer. I like this one's head and neck really nice, great down her top line and out through her hip, and one that, again, she does a great job of getting this one stuck and set and really puts it together from a profile standpoint. And this one, again, I thought just very, very elegant just as far as how she's built and designed. I think adequate as far as muscle is concerned as well. And we'll get her back out here for a Champion Shorthorn Plus in a bit.
Your results from Class 12 Winter Heifer Calves in the Shorthorn Plus show. In first place, the single entry 1816 from Addison Campbell with RC's Cindy's Cricket. Set to enter the ring at this time will be Class 13 of Senior Heifer Calves. We have the one lone entry from Bethany Strock.
Plus side, Bethany brought us another really nice one from Wisconsin. This one, I think, just as far as foot and bone and feature, I think she's a September heifer, she told me, but this one's just very dense and very bulky and got a lot of mass and substance to her. Yet I think she's very, I think, adequate just as far as her design and structure is concerned. I think a very stout one there that I think does a lot of things right. We'll get her back out here for Champion Drive in a bit.
Within the Shorthorn Plus show, your results from Class 13. In first place is Bethany Strock. At this time, we have our firsts from Class 12 and 13 for the Senior Heifer Calf Championship selection.
We're here on the Shorthorn Plus side. I think again we got two really high quality ones. Again, kind of like our last division, two heifers that are really different as far as just how they're designed and just the type of cattle that they are. The roan heifer, young lady brought us. That one's the pretty one out here of the pair. Very elegant up through her head and neck, and front one third. Just tall fronted, clean chested type of female that's really nice down her top line and out through her hip. Compared to the black heifer, just not as much three-dimensional shape, not as much chest width, but that's the one just as far as design and look and just femininity. That's the one you really like out of this pair. No doubt this black heifer, here's the stout one, just got more foot, got more bone, more feature to her, and one that's got just a ton of weight per day of age to her, and she's big-bodied and she's bold-sprung and she's wide-chested. So I think you can go either way. I'm going to just go with a little more stoutness and bulk in this black heifer. She'll be your champion in this division. Young lady with the roan will be reserved.
Your champion senior heifer calf in the Shorthorn Plus show comes from Class 13, Bethany Strock. And your reserve champion senior heifer calf comes from class number 12, and that is Addison Campbell. Within the Shorthorn Plus show, at this time, we will bring in class number 23 of junior yearling females. We have one entry from Lydia Recker from Hoptikin, Iowa.
Shorthorn Plus side over here. Young lady brought us a really nice female here, and one that she's just fun to look at for me, and one that's super high quality. I'd like to own this one. She's just that kind, just as far as sound, stout, good looking, really in a nice spot, just as far as her condition and freshness, yet still being bold and stout. Young lady's got a really nice one here. We'll get her back out here for Champion Drive.
Your results from Class 23 Junior Yearling Females within the Shorthorn Plus show. In first place, Lydia Recker. She also becomes your Senior Champion Female. At this time, we will bring back all of our champion and reserve champions for our Grand Champion Shorthorn Plus Female selection.
Over here on the Shorthorn Plus side, as we get our champion Shorthorn Plus lineup here on the junior show. I thought I just sit back, I just look at these females. Just a really nice show we had here this morning so far. And these exhibitors, they traveled some miles. They got these cattle clipped right, fit right. They're showing them to a really high degree. And I just really commend these exhibitors for bringing some really nice females to town. And we had actually had some nice numbers, I thought, and spread those numbers out through, as you can tell, out through multiple ages here. As we start with the young calves, I think that's a May heifer calf spinning around now, and that was a really good class of 4 females. And this black heifer I really like, as far as just being really elegant, great design to this female. One that's just really good on her feet and legs and head and neck. And boy, if this one just keeps putting on the muscle and stoutness and fleshing up, I think that one's in a really good spot right now. And I think a really high quality one that's got some really neat days ahead of her. Young lady's got that heifer out of that second class, and she's kind of the combo heifer of the heifers on both sides of her. She's a little stouter than that black heifer that won the first division, and she's a little more feminine and elegant than the red and white heifer behind her. And we talked in class in division there. That one, I really like her feet and legs, like the angle to her hock. I like out of her out of her hip and tail head. That young lady's brought a couple really nice ones to Denver. This red and white one here, it just depends on what business you're in. I mean, that one, boy, I'd love to take that one and make some steers with her. And I think you can probably breed her accordingly. If you want to make some females, you want to flatten her up just a little bit, I think you just breed her that way. But this one, boy, foot, bone, hip, body, I like that one quite a bit, and she's probably got some fans on the sidelines. And this one coming out next, spinning here, I talked about her in division, really opened up, stout, wide-chested, got some foot and bone to her. She maybe got the extras as far as the heifers on either side of her, maybe not, but that's just a really complete functional one that does some really nice cow things right. Then the big heifer on the end, just one that really a nice combination of stoutness and elegance, big-bodied, sound, flexible, big feet, one that's just really fun to evaluate. So I think you can go some different ways out here once we get to evaluating some of these different ages and just kind of where you want to put your preferences. But, boy, it was a great Shorthorn Plus show. Looking forward to the Purebred show next. Let's go ahead and put our hands together. We'll get you a champion in reserve.
Your grand champion Shorthorn Plus female is also your senior champion female, and that is Lydia Recker from Hopkinton, Iowa. Your reserve grand champion Shorthorn Plus female is also your junior heifer calf champion, and that is Job Knight with Firecracker. At this time, we will pause for pictures with our judge, Scott Werning, with the champions of the Junior Shorthorn Plus show.
on the Shorthorn side. Nice way to start our purebred show, and Emma brought us a really nice one here to win this class, and this one's just really presented nicely today. And for this one's age and size, I just love how dense this one is. She's just got a lot of shape to her, a lot of muscle, a lot of outward curvature and turn to her rib cage, and one that's just got some chest width, just a really high quality, nice roan heifer there that she brought to town. Young man's got a little stouter heifer here in second. You compare to that heifer in third, she's just more of her. She's longer, she's bigger scaled, she's got more foot and bone, and I thought just a little more heifer there, a little more muscle, a little more shape. But that one I think's got good days ahead of her too, just as far as how she's designed. She's long-sided, long neck, big hipped. Heifer that's just once she kind of hits her stride and fills in, I think that one's got some really nice days ahead of her. As is the young lady's heifer that's going to round out the class. This one, great design, head, neck, pattern. She does a great job of getting her set up there and propped up. And this one, just very good from attractiveness and just how she's put together. Again, kind of like her Shorthorn Plus heifer we saw earlier. Once this one gets a little more flesh and bone and just muscle and just kind of starts packing it on, I think she's got the rest of the parts and pieces to be very competitive. Nice trio of heifers, nice way to start our Shorthorn show.
Within the Shorthorn show, we have our junior purebreds class number 5 in the ring at this time. We have an entry from Colton Greenhorn, Sarah Allard, JC Stutzman, and Julia Lyons. Your results from class number 1 of junior purebreds: in third place, Jamie Lyons; in second place, Sloan Reedy; and in first place, Emma Helsinger. Your first and seconds from class number 1 become your champion and reserve champion late spring heifer calves.
Another great class here in our Shorthorn ring. Young man brought us a really nice one here to win this class. Just does a lot of things right, I think, just as far as being stout yet feminine. Got a nice set of feet and legs on her. I liked where she's at just as far as her condition and stage of maturity for her size and age. I think a nice set of feet and legs. Got some body, got some hip. Good looking, long-sided kind of a female. Gets a little closer from there. I thought just a little more heifer here, a little more combination heifer here in second. One that's a little sounder structured, more feminine than the heifer in third, and she's stouter than the heifer in fourth. And I think just a very nice, functional, feminine, cowy type of female there in second. I went with a little extra stoutness and feature here in third. I thought this one just had more foot, more bone, just more three-dimensional, more chest width than the heifer that's ultimately going to be fourth. But this one, I think just from a sheer stoutness and weight per day of age and power, that's what gets that one into third. No doubt this one in fourth, I think she's very feminine. I love this one from the side, and this one's really sound structured and really cowy. Just like to see just a little more heifer there, just chest width and muscle. But I think that one has got the right foundation and pieces there. She goes ahead and gets stouter and puts it on. I think she's very, very nice as well. So a great class of four. Nice second class here in our Shorthorn show.
Your results from class number 5 of early spring heifer calves in the junior purebred show for the Shorthorns. In fourth place, Sarah Allard. In third place, Julia Lyons. In second place, J.C. Stutzman. In first place is Colton Greenhorn. Your first and seconds from class number 5 become your early spring heifer calf champion and reserve champion. In the ring at this time is class number 9 of junior heifer calves. We have one entry from Alexa Turner.
On the Shorthorn side, Alexa from Illinois brought us a really nice single entry here. I think she said she's a February. Good colored one here. I like her quality as well. This one, I think, just very complete. Got some stoutness, got some mass to her. One that certainly looks like she could go ahead and be a nice cow and have some nice breeding value. And today she's really on the money just as far as how she's got her fit and presented and shown. And this one I think is just very high quality, very complete, and one that's just doesn't have any big holes. We'll get her back out here in a bit for champion.
Your results from class number 9 of junior heifer calves within the junior purebred Shorthorn show. In first place, Alexa Turner. Set to enter the ring at this time will be class number 12, which is winter heifer calves. We have the one entry from Alexa Turner.
brought us another nice single entry here. She brought a nice pair of them to Denver, and this one again, very, very nice. Super long-sided female, big hip kind of female. It's got some bone and foot. Again, I like that extra length and weight per day of age that she has. One I think is in a nice spot just as far as her flesh and condition and freshness for her age. I think she's really right just as far as her maturity for her age and size. And I think just a nice single entry again for this young lady. We'll get her back out here for champion in a bit.
Your results from Class 12 of Winter Heifer Calves within the Junior Purebred Shorthorn Show. In first place, Alexa Turner. Set to enter the ring at this time will be Class number 13 Senior Heifer Calves. We have the one entry from Logan Burrows.
Logan brought us a really nice single entry here from California. I think he said she's in October. And boy, if you want them a little stouter, this one's really up your alley. This one is big hipped and big topped and heavy boned and wide chested. And this one, I think yeah, like I said, if you want them just a little stouter, a little bolder, you're really going to tie into this one. And you know, she's pretty sound, you know, on top of that. A heifer that's got a ton of width, a ton of bone and muscle, and just true stoutness to her. Female I like quite a bit. We'll get her out here again for our division here, champion, just shortly.
Your results from Class 13 Senior Heifer Calves in the Junior Purebred Shorthorn Show. In first place, Logan Burrows. Set to enter the ring at this time will be our first place winners from Class 13 and Class 12 for our Senior Heifer Calf Champion and Reserve Champion selections.
Got a nice pair here in this fall division, and obviously we got two heifers just on the total opposite ends of the spectrum, and just depending on where you put your priorities, it's going to be an easy decision for you. For me, I don't really need one cookie cutter type or kind, so I can see the value in both of them. If you like them just a little sounder and more feminine, you're going to use the young lady's red heifer. If you like them stouter with more muscle, you're going to use the young man's heifer. But for me, I think you could go either way, just depending on where you wanted to set your chips. But to kind of for me, it just comes down to which one I'd rather take home. And today, I'd rather take home that stout heifer. She's going to be champion. Young lady's going to be reserve.
Within the Junior Purebred Shorthorn Show, your champion senior heifer comes from class number 13, and that is Logan Burrows. Your reserve champion comes from class number 12, and that is Alexa Turner. Set to enter the ring at this time for the Shorthorn Show should be class number 17. This is late spring yearly females. We have a total of 3 entries: Lacey Wernicke, Cooper Laffery, and Colton Greenhorn.
great class here on the Shorthorn side. A really high quality pair. I like both these quite well. I'd like to take them both home. This red roan heifer that's going to win. This one just on the standstill. This one wins the class really handily, just as far as how she's designed. I like just a good cowy look to her. I mean, you'd like a lot of cattle just to have that design and look and that three-dimensional rib shape, and she's got some width to her. What gets it close to me, that one is not perfect on a rear hock, and that's what got it really close here, where this white one is better in her hock and rear leg and how she's designed, I think, right there. And that's what got it really close for me. But I really liked everything else about that one, the one that wins the class, and went ahead to use her. Now, this white heifer, again, love her feet and legs. This one maybe just wasn't quite as neat from the profile standpoint, one not quite as long and extended as that one that wins the class, and perhaps doesn't have quite as much three-dimensional shape as our class winner. But again, really high quality one. Love that one's feet and legs. I think that she's got a lot of breeding value for that young lady going down the road. Young man from Texas is going to round out the class. This one really heavy muscled, long-sided, kind of a big scaled, high weight per day of age female, and I think he's got a lot of things he can tap into this one as well from a cow standpoint. A nice way to round out the class. She may just didn't quite have the extras we found in them first two.
Your results in the Shorthorn show from class number 17, late spring yearling females. In third place is Cooper Laffery. In second place, and your reserve intermediate champion female goes to Lacey Wernicke. In first place, and your intermediate champion female goes to Colton Greenhorn. In the ring at this time is class number 20, and that is early spring yearling females. We have two entries, one from Abby Rachter and one from Mackenzie Laffery. The first and second within class number 20 will become your champion and reserve champion females.
Nice pair here on the Shorthorn side, and two heifers I think got a lot of quality to them. And I think on the standstill, I think it's fairly close. I think heifers that just kind of both got their positives in this pair. But when we asked these cattle to move, that's where they kind of separate for me. I thought the red and white heifer here is going to win. Just handled herself better on the move, just a little more collected and composed, and just probably consequently just a little nicer in her angles up through her shoulder, her back slope to her knee, and the angle to her hock. But heifer again, very feminine, got some muscle, nicely presented. Nice heifer here to win this class. There's some things I like about this heifer better in second, just as on the standstill. This one's big hipped and big topped, and again wide and bold sprung. Just gets a little straighter up through her shoulder and out through her hock. And then when we ask these cattle to move, she doesn't want to quite grab that gear like our class winner. But I think a nice pair of big bred females there. Young ladies do a nice job.
Your results from class number 20 of early spring yearling females. In second place, Mackenzie Laffery. She is also your reserve champion junior female. In first place, and your junior champion female is Abby Brachter. In the ring at this time is class number 23, junior yearling females. We have the lone entry from Jada Wood.
Really nice big bred heifer here on the Shorthorn side, and really nice single entry. This heifer's got a lot of things I really like. A beautiful down her top line. She holds her top tremendous. I like her out of her hip and tail head. She's presented to a very high degree. Just a really big bodied, bold sprung female. This just got a lot of good in her and definitely could stand some more competition, but just a really square-made, good structured female that I think does a lot of things right. We'll get her out here for champion drive in a bit.
Within the Shorthorn show ring, the results from class 23 of junior yearling females. In first place, Jada Wood. Set to enter the ring at this time will be class number 24, senior yearling females. We have the lone entry from Cooper Laffery.
a nice senior yearling here on the Shorthorn show, and really like this cow. I think this is a really beautiful cow. Dark cherry red. They've got her presented and fit extremely nice. And this one's just sound structured. I think she's in very nice condition and doing a nice job raising this heifer calf. Just a really fresh cow that's very sound, very complete. I think it's got a lot of tools that this young man can go ahead and breed on, just as far as her structure and design and soundness, and love that dark cherry red color, no doubt, and just a very nice cow. Nice pair here to round out the show.
Your results from class number 24 in the purebred Shorthorn show. In first place, Cooper Lafferty. At this time in the ring, we have our senior champion female and reserve champion female selection for the purebred Shorthorns.
Here as we pick our last division in the Shorthorn show, and I think it's pretty close, and obviously a lot of difference in both these females. The bred heifer here, again, I talked about, just love this heifer's strength of top, love her top line and out through her hip, and she's big-bodied and bold-sprung. You know, she's not near as fresh as the cow behind her that's got the calf on her, and you know, I'd maybe like to see this one a little farther in calf, but she does look bred, and she looks like she's going to have a nice udder, and she's got plenty of middle to her and dimension, I think, for this stage. And I think, like we talked in class, just very square made, very good top, very complete kind of female. Again, we talked about the pair. I really like that cow, you know, just freshness and just how she's presented. Did a great job of keeping that cow looking really good. I love how she's fit. I love what they've done with her, just as far as how they've got her to this point. You know, that calf is, I think, very good as far as a bloom standpoint. You know, maybe like to, you know, change that calf just a little bit from a design standpoint, but I don't want to let that hold against that cow out here in this pair. So I do think you can go either way. I like both of them. I think they both got a lot of breeding value. I'm going to go ahead and use the bred heifer for champion. The pair will be reserved.
Your senior champion female within the junior purebred Shorthorn show comes from class number 23, and that is Jada Wood. Your reserve champion senior female comes from class number 24, and that is Cooper Laffery. Coming into the ring at this time is our champion and reserve champions returning for our grand champion Shorthorn and reserve champion Shorthorn female selection. Once again, our judge for the Shorthorn show today has been Scott Werning from Emory, South Dakota. Scott and his family run Simmental and Angus cattle in southeast South Dakota. 2023 will mark their 42nd annual sale in February. Scott is a 2006 graduate of South Dakota State University, where he was a member of the livestock judging team and the national champion meat animal evaluation team. Can't thank Scott enough for judging today's junior Shorthorn show.
Well, as we wrap up the Shorthorn show today, as we started with a great Shorthorn Plus show and worked into these purebreds, just really had a blast, and I hope the exhibitors did too. And we just had, I thought we had some nice numbers, and it got those numbers spread across a lot of different ages here, as you can tell. Just like the Plus show, the young calves all the way to the senior yearlings is just a really nice cattle that came through the ring all day long, and I think you can be really proud as junior exhibitors and breeders that just brought a nice set of cattle, highly presented, high quality cattle that are showing very well. And just like the pluses, I think we just got a nice lineup out here, and I think a lot of different kinds. I think depending on your preferences, you're definitely going to find something you like out here. If you want them a little stouter, a little prettier, if you want them kind of in the middle, there's something for everybody out here, and I think it looks like you're going to have a great open show as well. So again, this breed kind of started the fire for me. I showed a lot of steers, a lot of shorthorn steers growing up, and a lot of shorthorn heifers, and I think at one time we had about 30 shorthorn cows, and they paid a lot of bills for us for a number of years at our place. So a breed that's kind of near and dear to my heart, and I appreciate being asked to come work with your young people, and tried to interact with them as much as possible today, and I had a lot of fun. So again, we're going to get a couple really nice champions out of here. Been a great show. Appreciate it. Put our hands together. We'll get you a champion reserve.
Your grand champion Shorthorn female is also your intermediate champion, and that is entry 1804, Colton Greenhorn. Rolling into consideration for reserve will be the reserve intermediate champion female of Lacey Warnicki. Your reserve grand champion Shorthorn female also comes from your intermediate division, and that is the reserve intermediate champion female from Lacey Warnicki. Once again, a special thanks to Scott Werning for judging today's show. At this time, exhibitors and animals will take pictures with the judge, and this will conclude the junior female shows for the American Shorthorn Association.